Okay, so to create the building, make sure you name it building dash and then your full name. So first thing is to create a cube, and then you're going to use the scale button to just scale it. Make sure you move it up on the grid. Then just scale it to a perfect size, or a size that you think will work. So once you have something like that, then you want to come down here. Make sure you click on it. Make sure box is selected here. Once you start adding things, you will see more things in here. So box is the main cube. So let's change the depth segment. I'll change it to 5, and the width segment to 5. It all depends how many windows you want and all that stuff. And the height, I'll change it to 9. All right. So once I'm here, I'll switch to front view. And then I'll start moving edges around. So for example, I'll select edge here. And then if you double click on an edge, it will select the whole ring, the whole loop all the way around. Or you could just click one and then click select loop here, and it will select the whole loop. And I'll bring this up here just so we can create the rooftop. And then again, so if I click one and then I go select loop, see how it selects the whole thing. So this will be the windows. And then just decide, how wide the windows are going to be. So again, I just click an edge and then select loop, and I can just bring it up. Or just double click, same thing. Okay, so something like that. Then I'll go back to perspective view. And then from here, I'll start with the roof, creating the roof part. So I'll select face, and then I'll start selecting all the faces all the way around. Once you have that, then you can just extrude, and make sure you have the scale button, and then just from the middle. And it depends up to you how much you want to scale it. So that should be fine. All right, once I have that, I can do the top of the roof now as well. So select all the faces on the top. Once you have them, I'm just gonna switch to the move tool, but select extrude. And then once you extrude, then you can bring that down. There. So that's the rooftop. Right, now for the windows. So face, and then just start selecting all windows. I believe I have them all. Okay. And then same thing. So you're going to extrude, but I'm going to change to the scale button. And then I'm going to, using the middle scale, just resize it a little bit so you can create that little square in there. There. And then maybe switch to the move tool and then just move it slightly up. There. Okay. And then you can mess around with it. There. So those are all the windows. And then just pick a side for the door. Let's say this will be my door. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select vertex and just select these two, move it over, these two, and then move it over, and then same thing, select face so you can extrude it a little bit. So once you select it, click extrude, push it in, and then with the scale, just bring it like inwards a little bit, like so. There, then you can see that the door. And after that, it's just coloring. So you want to start coloring. So I can select a different, for example, let me start with the door. So I'll select the face for the door, and then I'll make that ID 1. So I'll select material 1 and then set ID. And then I'll select all the windows. And I'll assign an ID to those windows. Okay, so I'll assign that to be material ID 2 and then set ID there. And then I can do that same thing for the roof, like the inside. So I can select those. And change that to 3 and then set ID. And then you can mess around even more okay, with it. So now I'm just gonna start creating I'll switch to Explorer and I'll start creating the materials. So for the first one, I'll right click new and then multi-ID and I'll name that building and I'll give it a color. So maybe something like that. All right, and then I'll create a standard. So again, right click on material library, new, and then standard, and I'll name that, let's say, Windows. And then I'll just give it a color, let's say maybe black. And then another one, right click, new, standard, and then I'll name that a roof maybe. And then I'll make it black as well. And then another one for standard for the door. So I'll name that door and I'll give it a color. Okay, so once I have that, then I can apply the material by going here, properties, and then under materials, I'll select building. Okay, so now everything gets the same color because I haven't assigned the ID. So right here I'm building, I click on it and then I see the IDs for, so for ID 1, I believe it was the door. There, so you can see it change color here. And then for ID 2, I believe it was the windows. There you go. And then for ID 3, it was the roof. There. Okay. There you go. And then remember that the image that I show you has a little building here on the top of the roof, so make sure you create that. So all you do is select face, select those 4 faces, and then you're going to extrude, and there it is. Okay, and you can add this, change it to black, the color as well in there. And that's it. That's pretty much all you gotta do. So you can see, rotate it, and you can see all the windows and the door. If you want to remove the edges so you don't see, so you can see it better, you go to realistic and then show edges there, and then that's how you can see it there. So got a better idea of how it looks. Okay, so that's all you're doing for the building. So it should be easy to create.